that was given to us to look into the whole issue of Finland scholarship. Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberations in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. And we all say, Amen. Thank you so much, honorable members and our visitors. We will start straight away by introduction, and I will ask that members we introduce ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'm David P. Keitany, representing Firstchoice Ward and a member to this committee.
I'm Honorable Amos Kiptanui, representing Firstchoice Ward and member to this committee of ad-hoc.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mary Goretti Boroswa, representing Kipsomba Ward. Thank you, and also a member to this committee.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gilbert Koskei, member representing Kiptiret Kipchamo, a member to this committee.
Good afternoon. My name is Honorable James Maina Washira, MC of Ngishu County, and also the Vice Chair Delegated Legislation in this House. Welcome all.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Naomi Serem, representing Gender, a friend to this committee.
Thank you so much. The Secretariat, please introduce yourself.
Sharon Kwambai, Sajinata.
I'm Elias Koech, Research.
I'm Victor Birgen, Committee Clerk.
Thank you. Our visitors, may we kindly be introduced to yourselves. Help them with the mic.
Good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Domtila Mayo, Branch Manager, KCB Eldoret East.
Good afternoon. So my name is R.G. Mwangi. I am representing the bank as an advocate accompanying Domitila.
Good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Charles Maiga. I'm an advocate of the High Court representing KCB Bank in these proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable members and our visitors from the KCB Bank, I will ask that my able Vice Chair introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chair, honorable members and our visitors. My name is Honorable Francis Muya Mwangi, MCA representing Langas Ward, the leader of minority in this assembly. And I'm a good customer at KCB. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now that you've declared interest,
I'm concerned.
Thank you. I thought you were giving us a disclaimer that you have a vested interest in the bank. Otherwise, welcome so much to this committee, and thank you. We had invited you to be with us this afternoon, that is from 2, But we were informed that you are within the premise and you don't have a problem with being with us now, conducting the business of the this committee. So perhaps you could reaffirm that you don't have a problem for us to proceed on in this manner at this time. Order. I think a little bit of housekeeping. This mic is provided for us, so when you want to engage us, from your own side, you just raise your hand and we'll give you that time to respond. Unless there is a direct question that needs you to respond, then you do that using the mic, and immediately you are done with the mic, you switch it off, because we share. Otherwise, thank you so much. So you can use the mic in response to that.
Good afternoon once again, honorable members. I think we are here through your invite of your letter dated 24th January 2023.
Order, madam.
Yes.
The question was very simple. That do you have any problem if we start now, or you would wish that we stick to the time we had invited you from, that is 2.
That we are okay with it. The time was 11:30, but we are okay with it. We can proceed.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Honorable members, I just want to read a letter that we wrote to the bank requesting for this meeting to take place today. And this letter was written to the bank manager, Kenya Commercial Bank, Eldoret East Branch. And the reference was Finland Scholarships Program through Uasin Gishu County Government. The above subject matter refers, the County Assembly is in receipt of a petition by parents of the Finland Scholarship Programs, which is being sponsored by the County Government of Uasin Gishu. The petition raises several weighty issues, among them management of the funds of the program. The County Assembly, by resolution, constituted an ad-hoc committee on Thursday, 1st December 2022, to investigate the above subject matter. In this regard, the committee invites you to its meeting at the County Assembly premises scheduled for Monday, 30th, and this is from 11:30 a.m. to shed more light on opening of the Uasin Gishu Education Overseas Trust account. That is account number 12859227778. Please come with the bank statement and all the documents used for account opening. Yours faithfully, Shadrach Choge, on behalf of this committee, and him being the clerk to the County Assembly. Thank you so much. Did you receive that letter?
Yes, I did.
Thank you. Now, for us to proceed, I will ask that you address this committee through the chair, so that it will be orderly, and this information or these proceedings is captured live. And thank you for honoring our invite, honorable members. We will do what we normally do. We will get submissions from them. If there are any clarifications or interjections, please manage them so that we don't affect the flow of the submissions. And after this, we'll have question time where members will be free to ask questions on behalf of the Assembly and the people of Uasin Gishu. Once again, we are yet to get to know your names. So maybe you said they gave us their names, the introduction. Oh, my focus was who. So I understand. I got to the advocate, wakili, and then you said Domitila?
Domitila Mayo.
Branch manager.
Correct.
Thank you so much. So we can proceed on with that. Madam Domitila, I just want to put the record straight that the team accompanying you, one is your personal advocate. So one is standing on behalf of the bank and one is standing on your behalf.
No, they are both standing in on behalf of the bank.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. So that in this context, much of the discussion.
Chair.
Yes. What is it?
Chair, from how I've heard you engaging, I think it's proper they introduce themselves well, because I think that part didn't capture your mind. Therefore, it is only prudent for them to come up again so that you don't ask whatever they have already said, kindly, because it costs nothing.
Thank you. Perhaps you may again tell us, for the benefit of the chair, because I want to believe that the members are okay, who are you and what are you standing for in this proceeding?
Okay. My name is Domitila Mayo, branch manager, KCB Eldoret East.
Okay, thank you, Bwana Chair. Once again, R.G. Mwangi. Maybe I can give a bit more details from the firm of G&A Advocates LLP, representing the bank.
Good afternoon once again. My name is Charles Maiga, and I am part of the team from G&A Advocates LLP, representing the bank. Thank you.
Thank you. That one is okay. So, welcome. Madam Domitila, because the letter was addressed to the bank manager. Now, then I think you will sit squarely to respond to us, and perhaps you may give us an overview on what are the procedures for one to get an account number, specifically from a group of people, and a trust. We want to know the procedures for one to have a trust account.
Okay. Thank you. And through the chairman, I want to respond to that question. And in regard to what is in front of us, on how we open this particular account. One, I don't know whether I should address this particular overseas trust account because it's what has been written in this particular letter. One, it's a trust account.
It's okay. As long, the question is general.
It's general.
What are the procedures for one to have a trust account?
Okay.
That is from your side.
From my side.
From your side, yes. Thank you.
Correct. One, they will fill an account opening form where the signatories who've been appointed through the minutes will sign on it and indicate the mandate of how they'll operate the account. Two, we will have the minutes authorizing the people who are going to operate the account. Three, we will have the trust deed that will be required for this particular, which is signed at the Ministry of Lands. Four, we will have the declaration of trust citing the detailed need of these particular people and the details of all of them. In more details, their names and IDs and their signatures appended on it. And then the last one will be their personal details, indicating their IDs and the PIN. And then the other one is the letter of introduction from the body requesting.
Order,
Yes.
Domitila, madam.
Yes, please.
You know, I thought there were 2 documents, so you are in number 6. Can you bring us, take us slowly, because we want to capture all those documents.
Okay.
You know, take your time. You said number 1 is, let's go together, because remember you are dealing with farmers here and honorable members,
Okay.
businessmen, and not many of us are bankers in nature.
It's okay.
Yeah, so take us slowly, because we are very interested there.
Okay.
Thank you. You can start from number 1.
I can start from number 1.
Yeah, yes.
1, I don't know in which order I'll go through, but once they come to the bank, we will ask them. We want a letter requesting to open this particular account in this particular branch. It has to be specific. That is the introductory letter. Number 2, we will require the minutes requesting for the minutes that were held and requesting to open this particular account. That is number 2. Then from there now, once we have those documents, we go ahead and say, we will give them the account opening form, which they will fill and give us the details of those ones who are going to operate the account. Which in this particular case, they filled 3 names on this particular form. Then, in regard to the other documents, we required the declaration of trust, which is a detailed document with the intended purpose of the trust deed to be registered. And in this particular document, it gives the details of how the trust shall run this particular account. So in the trust deed, it will detail the names of the trustees, which in this case has the names of the 6 trustees. That is 1. The trustees, all of them, it doesn't, there is 1 Joel Chelule, Joel Ruto, Joseph Kipkemoi Maritim, Susan Keino, Meshach Rono, and Lois Cheruyot. There were 6 in number. And then the other document that is still required is the certificate of incorporation. That's the trust deed itself. That is the final the document. And out of all this now, again, we still require the personal documents of the trustees. That is now the 6 I have named. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Maybe, sorry, through the chair. I think the personal documents I mean here is the ID and the PIN. Thank you.
Thank you. Perhaps if I may ask in this order, number 1 to number 6, is it documents that are required as a batch, or you can supply the others as we move on?
They are supposed to supply as a batch.
Be very careful when you answer that, because she's okay. Thank you so much. Then we can proceed.
Maybe Chair. before we proceed from there, because I can see the Madam Domitila have arranged herself, kindly through your chairmanship, can you request her to submit to furnish this committee with those documents that were used by the trustees to open this account, so that the committee can use it during report writing. Thank you.
Okay.
Madam Domitila, it was a general question, but you've helped us by being particular to the account in question. So that begs question number 2. Is the account in question named here in this letter? Does this account sit in your bank?
Yes, it does.
Thank you so much. And it's given that name, Wasingishu Overseas
Education Trust account.
It is that account?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So, Madam Domitila, would you be kind enough to submit to this committee those documents, the copies of those documents, the badge documents that occasioned the opening of that account?
Maybe I need to qualify this. Okay. Maybe just to clarify, before I submit those particular documents, as a bank, I think I had earlier stated that this is, according to the question, that what documents are required. That is what I stated. But in this particular case, we qualify the fact that they can be given the discretion to be allowed to open in absence of some of the documents, depending on the situation and on a case-by-case basis, which in particular case, in this particular regard to this account, some of the documents were not submitted at the time of opening the account. That is one, the trust deed, and 2, some of the individual personal documents of some of the trustees. I think those were the 2 documents that were missing at the initial point of opening. And they qualified that because of the fact that we have a relationship with the customer who is the Wasingishu government, the Wasingishu government. 2, we have had previous relationship with this particular institution, and we have been partners in so many ways, and that allowed us to qualify that they did not submit all the document. And the 3rd one was, there was no reasonable doubt that they were not going to submit these other documents, being a credible institution. And that is why we proceeded to open that particular account. Thank you.
Some clarification, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Keitany.
Just wanted to confirm, was it the county government was opening the account, or it was a group of people who had decided to come up with a trustee did to come and open an account? Is it a Wasingishu County?
Perhaps, Madam Domitila, who is this customer whom you have a good relationship with? Is it the county government of Wasingishu or the trust?
It is Wasingishu County government.
Chair. Still
yes, Honorable Keitany.
Was there any letter from maybe His Excellency or Governor to introduce maybe the team?
Okay, what I would say in this context, through the chair, there is the introduction letter that came from the county, which had the county logo on it.
Thank you, Madam Domitila. Please give us the documents, the match you have, because we are expecting around 7 documents. Maybe you have 1 or 2 or 3. Just give us what you have, and then we'll proceed on with that.
Chair, on your behalf, I'm in receipt of a letter that contained the letterhead of the county government of Wasingishu, and it is dated 21st May 2020. It is to the manager, and Wasingishu, the heading was Wasingishu Overseas Education Trust Account. Please assist the following Wasingishu County official to open Wasingishu Overseas Education Trust account with your bank. It contained 3 names. That is Joel Kipkori Lono, Joseph Kibemoi Maritime, Mesha Krono. And the letter came from Joseph Kibemoi Maritime. And he is among the signatories. That is one of the letters. Maybe I want to just, though you are the chair, before we do photocopy, the second letter here, it is a letter with the letterhead from Wasingishu County Government, dated 19th May 2021 to the manager. And this letter, the reference is Wasingishu Overseas Education Trust. It has been written by Joseph K. Maritime, Chief Officer, Vocational Training, Youth Affairs, Gender and Sports. I think that is another letter before you photocopy. The third document is the minutes. It's a document that is on a letterhead of Wasingishu County Government, dated 22nd February 2021, and the heading, members, the date of this letter is 22nd February 2021, minute of Wasingishu Overseas Education Trust held on 23rd April 2021 at KVDA Plaza, Nore Board, room number 12, floor at 11 a.m., showing the present number, and these are the minutes. And it has stamps, rubber stamp to show that it was received, and it has been signed by 2 officers. That is that letter, Chair. The fourth document is a certificate of incorporation, Uasin Gishu Overseas Education Trust, registered trust. I think this is the trust deed, and it was received on 9th March 2022 at KCB Bank. That is the fourth document, Chair. The fifth document that has been submitted to this committee, it is a document whose heading, it is dated this day 6th May 2021, Uasin Gishu Overseas Education Trust, Declaration of Trust. I think this is the continuation or the information that pertains the trust deed, and it was received in the bank on 21st May 2021, Chair. And finally, there is a form from KCB Bank where the details of the account were filled, and it has a stamp of KCB Bank that was received on 21st May 2021. And I think, Chair, those are the documents that have been submitted to this committee for the consumption of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair. Can the documents be copied to members?
Chair, before he submits those documents, kindly can you clarify when was the trust deed received by KCB?
The trust deed was received on 9th March 2022. And the decision to have a trust was made in May 2021.
2021.
Yes. Thank you so much.
The documents are to be photocopied. You will receive your copies. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There are minutes of a meeting that happened on 22nd February 2021. And a letter which was submitted to this committee. That letter was the letter purportedly that was used to open an account with you. And in these submissions you've given us, we've not seen that minutes. So perhaps what would you say about that?
Chair, I have read it and in fact stressed that the letter the meeting was done 22nd February and it is similar to what we were given.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So perhaps let me go back to members. Yeah, Honorable Amos from Rescos.
Thank you, Chair. And through the Chair, we want to appreciate Tomtila Mayo, and when she was taking us through what are some of the requirements that are required for an organization like the Overseas Trust, Overseas Education Trust Fund. She said that she mentioned a number of documents, and she said under I don't know, exceptional circumstances, if I may call, one can be exempted. And you've said very well that for this case, one of the grounds that maybe you allow this account to be opened in absence of some of the requirements like trust deed. You say it because of the nature of the client, which is the county government of Uasin Gishu. And again, you say it in this case. I don't know whether I heard you well when you said you also exempted individual personal documents like ID and PIN number. If that is what you said, what convinced you not to consider personal individual documents like ID and personal PIN number, if I may put for this case? Thank you.
Honorable Naomi.
Honorable Chair, I want to fertilize on what Honorable Amos said about the submission of most important documents. Yeah, I have a question. Is the bank terms accept shoddy deals in such a huge account that all millions, whereby all the concerned group didn't submit its document? Thank you.
Maybe to add on those through the chair, Madam Domitila, you are dealing with this good customer by the name of Uasin Gishu County Government. How many accounts do you hold with this good customer?
I can't specifically say how many.
But you have several.
But we have several.
If I may ask, because money issue in any government are held in one department. When they are opening these accounts, do every department write a letter for you to open an account, or the letters come from a specific department, and who specifically? And two, was there any contrary in the opening of these specific account of the trust of the overseas scholarship program? Did you ask why, or did you notice the irregularity? And if, did you sought any answers over it? Have you gotten my concern?
Yes.
Thank you.
Madam Domitila, please respond in order of the question as it so that you start with Honorable Amos, and then you go to Honorable Naomi, and then now you address his question last.
Okay. I'll put it this way. When the officials from the county came to us to open this particular account, according to the minutes, there were 3 that had been nominated to run that particular account. And when they walked into the branch, they had already started receiving funds from the parents. And what
Through the chair, it is good to say they were nominated by who? And whoever nominated them, was he among the 3?
Okay, through the chair, I was guided by the minutes that they presented to us, to the bank. And through the minutes, the 3 of them were at the branch on that day. And their request was, they have already started receiving cash from the parents, and they urgently needed an account where they needed to put the funds. Number 2, the PIN.
Hang on in that number 1. So a letter is written on behalf of county government of Uasin Gishu. The owner of that letter is a member of the proposed signatory. You know, so that I want us to. When I said that we are farmers, we did not say that our knowledge is limited to knowledge to that extent. So the owner of the letter, or the originator of the letter, he's proposing himself to be the signatory of that account? Respond to that so that you go to number 2.
Okay. What I would say is, I'll go by what I stated first, that they were supposed to submit the minutes, and they did submit the minutes, as well as the name of the people who are going to run the account. I think I'll leave it at that.
Combine it with my concern, because the question is very clear. Yes, the letter have the letterhead of county government of Uasin Gishu, but his question is very clear. The proposal, you have said that the letter suggests that the 3 were nominated. Did you do the due diligence to know who nominated the 3? And did it meet the merit? Because the question has been, whoever nominated, was he among the nominee?
Okay, through the chair, I get your question. But according to how the declaration of the trust had indicated, and the minutes that they had sat down, I believe they gave us the minutes the way they sat and agreed that these were the people who were coming to open the account. And that is what we used.
Through the chair, I don't know whether it's good to put Domitila on an oath, because we are dealing on a sensitive matter here. And this is an institution that we well know is a government institution or related to the government, and dealing, as one member have just alluded.
Order, Vice Chair.
Thank you.
Domitila is here under an invitation. Honorable members, we've not summoned Domitila to appear in this committee. We invited her. So perhaps where you don't feel comfortable to answer, just tell us you're not answering that. And we'll go by it. So that as an honorable Ngetich, you know what to do. Thank you so much. Madam Domitila, you are here purposely to help this committee address the issues we have. And we're asking you to give us information to the best of your knowledge. And what the members are asking is that you be truthful in your submission. Where you don't know or it's not clear to your table, you just leave it there. We don't want to, you are not under oath. So the question which were asked by members here is that you realize that or perhaps let's go to question of my deputy chair, that the intention to open a bank account from the county government of Uasin Gishu normally comes from which office? Because we want to know whether is it from the finance department or the governor's office or the minister or the departmental level. We want to know. Teach us. How do you, so that we proceed on. And is it on this question? Okay, please proceed.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Maybe Madam Tom Tila can tell us, because they have said these are our regular customers and they have several accounts with them. Maybe she can also specify these accounts that are in KCB, East Branch. Are they for the county government or are
through the chair, Ken, we want Tom Taylor to come out clear when she say that one of the reasons why she exempted some of the requirement was Ngishu County government has been a good client. Did it come to your understanding that this account, I want to believe you understand how a trust account operates, that this is an independent account that does not require the county government to give any instructions, because there is a purpose why a trust deed is a requirement. It shows that, according to my own layman
Point of order,
understanding,
Chair. The questions are good, but for the next level, because we are about to get to know the originator of the request of this. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair, I'm Deputy Chair, for helping me in this. You know, I'm coming from where Honorable Mary Goretti is. That since county government of Uasin Gishu have a special relationship with KCB, Eldoret East Branch. Now, I want to know the nature of that relationship. So, which gave you a leeway to handle them special. But before we go there, answer this question. Who do you deal with in Uasin Gishu when it comes to matters account opening?
Okay, maybe let me request my counsel to proceed.
It's simply a point of, for purposes of good order.
Order. Madam Domitila, is this person your counsel?
I'm representing
your colleague,
the bank.
because you're all representing the bank.
Yes.
As the bank manager and as the attorney.
As the attorney, yes.
Yeah, please proceed. He's your colleague.
Yeah. What I'm saying is this: for purposes of good order, questions have come. We've written down 4 questions. Before we had answered the first one, another barrage has come in. And maybe the questions that has come in could have been answered once we answered the other questions. So I would request through the chair that we may have some order. That first, once the first round of question comes, we go through them, answer them, then we can take in the second round. So that whoever have any follow-up answer from what we give, it may be answered or not. Then that way we'll be able to also organize our thoughts well and respond to the questions and aid this committee. That's what my request is.
You can now proceed, and that is exactly the order that we intend to follow in these proceedings. So can you handle the 4? Yes. Then we proceed. Thank you.
Point of order, Chair. I think,
what is it, Honorable Keitai?
Chair, I think our standing orders are very clear. It is a room for some
clarification
and so on. So when we feel like getting clarification, that is as per our standing orders.
Quite in order. Quite in order, Honorable Keitai.
On that again, Chair, I think the way she will answer the questions also will lead to us to ask more questions and need
order. Thank you, Honorable Mary Goretti. And I think it is the business of the chair to manage now how the questions goes about. Honorable Madam Domitila, sorry, you have 4 questions with you in which you wish to respond.
Okay.
And not that responding it may attract interjections or clarifications from them. Let me work hard to make sure that you are done with the response as I manage the interjections. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. And through the Chair, I want to address the questions. One, there is the question of the Uasin Gishu county government. I'll not be in a position to say that a letter would come from this body or this other one, because various accounts are opened and some will come from one department and another one from another different department. But what informs us as a bank is that the signatories that were appointed in those particular minutes were the ones that were decided in a meeting, and a letter of introduction was given to us, and we opened the account according to how it was agreed. Come to question number 2. That was the PIN and ID of some of the signatories, and they trusted it. I know that did not come at the time of opening, and we later, because of what was in front of us at that moment when they presented themselves at the branch, the 3 of them, plus what had been indicated in the minutes, that these were the people who are going to run this particular account, they brought in the details of those 3 and requested, because of the urgency of this particular account, that they were going to bring the other documents later. So we proceeded, and let me put it clearly that it is also within the discretion of the bank, like I had said earlier, that we went ahead and requested for exemption of these particular items to be submitted later, so that we could proceed to open the account for the parents to start depositing funds. And already on that very first day, as per the statement, they deposited the first amount of money, which was 890,500, which at that time they told us they had been holding it in their office. So we went ahead and opened so that they could deposit that money. Okay. Okay, maybe just a clarification. The PIN and ID that were provided to us were the ones that had been nominated and to run the account, but the other 3 had not been submitted for the other trustee. I think that was the second question. Maybe the other third one, maybe I can request the honorable, our honorable member, maybe you can repeat the other third question. Yes.
I can't know which specific, but I don't know whether the one the honorable chair.
The question was mine. The question came from me, and you purport to have answered in your first question that you have opened several accounts for the county government of First Issue. Can you qualify your allegation that you have opened several accounts, letters emanating or coming from different departments? Can you qualify your submission by saying that, for instance, account A, I received a letter from Department of Health. Account C, I received a letter from Education, so that it can be clear that you opened accounts as per the request. Can you qualify your statement?
Thank you, through the chair. I think I'll not be comfortable answering that particular question, because I think the issue we are addressing here is in regard to this
Thank you,
account.
Chair. She has denied or declined to answer that.
Yes.
Will I be right, even if your counsel will answer this, to say that I have been working closely with the Department of Finance, and all finance-related accounts, letters should come from the CEC or the Department of Finance, because money-related issues in any government are controlled in one department. Will I be wrong to say that this was a deal by the manager and the 3 trustees who appointed themselves? Because you have evaded again the first question, because we were asking the letter, the 3 nominees, one of them who wrote the letter and signed was among the signatories. Was it a deal between the manager and the 3 trustees? Will I be wrong?
I think we will decline to answer your hypothetical question because that's a hypothetical scenario you're creating and which we cannot answer. Secondly, is that Domitila has responded that even though the county government may hold several bank accounts and the procedure for opening those various accounts could have been emanated from various departments, that is where our answer stops, and we will not go any further to detail any other account.
Chairman.
That,
Chairman.
Order members, proceed.
Yes. So we would not go to give, for example, particular accounts and say how that said account came into existence, who wrote the letter, because those are not the accounts that are before this committee. Thirdly, as far as the KRA PIN and the ID PIN are concerned, and the ID requirements, Michelle has confirmed that those ones were provided for the 3 signatories that are required by the bank. The ones that were not provided was for the other 3 trustees who were not signatories to the account. And those were the ones that, once we realized they did not come with them, we asked them to supply them later on. But for the mandatory KRA PIN and ID PIN was for those 3 who were signatories. Those ones were provided.
Chairman.
Let me ask.
Chairman.
Let me ask this before I come to you, honorable member. When a trust, when the trust, the membership of the trust are 6, and that 3 are signatories to the account. So of what importance are the other 3 names to the bank? Are they just good for numbers, 1, 2, 3, and maybe you don't need their particulars in that? Of which importance are the other 3 names to the bank?
Okay. What I would, through the chair, I want to respond to that question. The other 3 are for record purposes for the bank.
Chairman. Chairman, maybe.
Honorable Sato, member representing Cheptiret, Kipchama Ward.
Thank you so much, Chair. I think we had actually invited them to give us information. I thought it is good that they give us those information, then we can interrogate them the moment we've got the information. That is what I thought. It is good that they give us the information they know. Yes, we've seen, and they have actually provided that somebody wrote the letter. Those are the information that we need. Then we can interrogate as we continue.
Mheshimiwa
Chairman.
Sato, the information tumepewa. So we are interrogating the information as per the information we have. Honorable Keitany? Order, not Honorable Keitany, Honorable Jonathan Ngetich.
Chairman, not only, Chairman, are we receiving information, but if we get misleading information, Chairman, we have a point, and we can as well assist them in one way or another. I pity the KCB team, Chairman, and even the council, that they cannot provide more information. When Domtila says that we hold various accounts, it is through this house, Chairman, that we approved various accounts to be opened. And these accounts are very specific, Chairman, and we know all of them. Now, when she misleads this house that departments write letters and you open account, then that one will not go unanswered or unquestioned, Chairman. You know, we've been in this government for long. Chairman, accounts that we have with KCB is 1, we have the emergency account. Who are the signatories? The CEC Finance, CEO Finance, and the principal accountant. We can mention all of them, Chairman. Another account, Chairman, is the bursaries account. Who writes and requests for account to be opened? It is well stated in the PFM Act, Chairman. Anything that is outside the PFM Act is their arrangement. So when they tell us today that what Dom Taylor said is final and we cannot proceed, then we can as well term you as hostile witnesses. Because, Chairman, we wanted very clear information. And we are informed. It's not that we are not informed, Chairman. We are very much informed. When Tom Taylor tells us that as for the bank, the rest are, I don't know, are for record purposes, then what is the purpose of a deed? What is the purpose of a trust deed that has been registered with the Ministry of Lands that has 6 names? Chairman, for your information, Chairman, the minutes that was used to open that account was forged minutes. Did you do due diligence to know that these are the authentic minutes? Was there a meeting between you and them before you opened that account? Because the minutes are forged. The minutes are not real. So will we be wrong and agree with the Deputy Chair that you colluded with this team?
Through the Chair, can the member...
Order,
through the Chair,
order, Vice Chair. Order. Allow him to...
Yes, that is why, Chairman...
We want it, get it. Chair.
He has
very good information. He can guide the... Please, Chair.
Order, Vice Chair.
The member I can also be thrown out if I'm not allowed to speak. The member can guide us. How is it minutes forged? So that we conclude that matter. It is well.
Order members. Order, Honorable Ngetich. Honorable Vice Chair. We have not said that we don't have time to ask Madam Domitila the questions we have. But it is in order for a member, when given time, to exhaust his questions. You cannot interject. As a member, you cannot interject a member. You allow the member to ask his questions.
Chair, I was not interjecting. I wanted that. It's a very good point for it to come very clear. Because a whole manager of a bank ought to have scrutinized a trust account document to open. Therefore, it's not a question.
Honorable.
And I'm not arguing with my chair. But I will not allow today to be gagged. Thank you.
Maybe, Chairman, as I conclude.
Order member. Perhaps I may want to invoke my powers as the chair, because the responsibility of making that we have an orderly proceedings is vested on me. Honorable Vice Chair, you are out of order in interjecting or just aiding the honorable member while he is giving his submission. So that I wish you could ask for your time for you to proceed. And you are a senior member, and in this committee you hold a higher office than the members. That I've never gagged you while prosecuting your matter. Honorable Ngetich, proceed.
Now, Chairman, in the purported minutes that was used to open an account, Chairman, it is with them, and they have in the file, they have given us that there was a meeting between 6 people. And in this election, there is one Dr. Joel Cheruyot as the chairman. The secretary is Joel Kipkorir Ruto. In this case, what is the function or what is the role of the chairman and what is the role of the secretary? Who should be writing correspondence between this trust fund and the bank and any other institution? It should be the secretary in concurrence with the chairman and the team. But in this case, chairman, it has been one person by the name Maritim Joseph who writes letters. Now, the letter that is purported to come from the county government of Uasin Gishu chairman is a letter Uasin Gishu Overseas Trust Education Trust. The letter is from the Chief Officer, Vocational Training, Youth Affairs, one Joseph Maritim. How does the bank accept a letter from one of the signatories to purport to have come from the county government? The procedure of county government chairman in the PFM Act, and when it comes to account opening, that relates to county government is that the CEC in charge of finance should be doing the writing and give a proposal through the county secretary. In this case, chairman, it is the CEO Maritime who is also the principal trustee who writes the letter to the bank and the bank accepts. Does this not look a coalition or a collusion, chairman? Then lastly, chairman, in these minutes that was used purportedly to have opened the account, chairman, it has only a signatory, prepared by signature, approved by signature. This is not authentic. Who is the name behind this signature? Who is the name behind the signature? Who is the name behind the approved signature? Chairman. So I thought, chairman, it could have been there is a name by the someone by the name Jonathan Kiprop Ngetich signed as an approval.
Thank you so much.
Who holds this?
Thank
chairman,
thank you so much, Honorable Ngetich Jonathan, MCA Kaptakat Ward. Madam Domitila.
Yes.
I just want to qualify what, not even to qualify, or I want to compress it by asking you direct.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the letter that occasioned that account to be opened?
Thank you, Chairman, and through the chair, I want to respond. That is the letter we used to open this account. Okay.
Thank you so much. So that I ask the second question. Who in your office is the consumer of this letter? Is it the branch manager?
Yes, it is the branch manager.
So you scrutinized this document?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Now the third question. Does this letter, which came to your office, your desk, and for your consumption, did it pass the merit test?
Okay. Yes. Thank you for that question. And through the chair, I want to respond it this way. One, when I received these particular documents, we did the callback, in which we did the callback. One of the signatories who was not there, that was Mr. Ruto, is the one who confirmed the minutes that they were correct. Two, maybe just to, I would wish to withdraw the statement I said in regard to county government accounts. Yes, that is true that they go through the finance office before we open the accounts. But in this regard, with the account that is in front of us, overseas trust account, we have several accounts. They come through the finance office. We've opened those accounts. But in this particular case, this was different, and we were using and basing it on the minutes we received in regard to the details of the signatories that were in the minutes, and they came with a request to open this trust account. So I apologize for that, and I withdraw that statement. Thank you.
Point of order.
Let me lead that again. We are proceeding on well. So that would you also wish to withdraw the earlier statement that you said that we did it because we have a special relationship with the county?
Okay. I'll not say that. I would say I will withdraw special. But what I said is, maybe I withdraw the word special, but I would say that it's it was necessitated by the relationship we have had with the county government.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Let me go to Naomi, and then I'll come back to Mary Goretti.
Through the chair, the letterhead of Uasin Gishu County, the dates on the left side is stating 21st of May 2020. while they received the stamp from the KCB, is reading 21st May 2021. It's a year after the drafting of the letter. I think that could be explained.
Thank you, thank you. Let's go to Mary Goretti.
Thank you, Chair. I think Madam Tumtila has told us that she's the branch assistant manager. Is it? Manager. The branch manager. I want to appreciate the fact that you said we as county government of Uasin Gishu have many accounts with you as a branch. And since you are the manager, kindly furnish this committee with all the accounts that it has opened with your branch.
Order, Madam Honorable Member Goretti. Honorable members, I will ask that we be live with the questioning, so that we don't ask ask question number 10 in trying to get to question number 2. Let's be orderly. Honorable Keitany.
Thank you, Chair. And I hope they still have some of the copies that they presented to us. Part of it, I don't know if they have the opening form. There's a question I just wanted to ask, and Chair, I want to request that that it can be one-on-one direct. The opening form, you have it?
Yes.
Just behind that opening form, I can see the signing instructions, mode of signing. It was, before, it was all to sign, but later it was changed to be any two to sign. And when you come to the minutes that you used to open, it was any two of the officials have to sign, but Mr. Joseph Kipkemba Martim is a mandatory signatory. My main question is not even the issue of having Joseph Kipkemba Martim to be the mandatory. The rules of the bank, especially when it comes to withdrawals, signing instructions, for any alteration anyway, it has to be countersigned by all 3 signatories. Here, there is no signature to confirm that they were the same signatories who agreed to change the signing instructions. To me, Chair, it means it was later changed. The other question, Chair, I just wanted to confirm from the branch manager is, which documents are very important for you to allow the account to operate? I know there are some that you can assume just because of the relationship, and maybe you can go ahead with it. Maybe you can answer that. At the same time, the third question is, as per your statements, you say the reason why you agreed to open the account was because of the funds, the amount which the trustees had already collected from the parents. An example is the one that it was deposited, that is 890. That was the main reason. Was the reason number 2 was to accept the deposit at the same time to accept the account to be operated, even without the other documents to be brought?
Chairman, maybe
let me direct this. That I want you to address to Honorable Keitany's issues, but I don't want you to run away from the response you told us, or you told this committee, in the question of admitting this letter and its merit. You said you followed with a call to Dr. Chelule. You said that?
No, it was
Mr. Ruto.
Yes.
A phone call.
Yes.
You extended a phone call to Mr. Ruto to confirm whether this is genuine minutes.
Yes.
And he said yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Now you go to Honorable Keitany's question.
Okay. I'll respond to that question in terms of how the operation of the account was mandated. I think that is stated clearly in the minutes that the members agreed to open an account with Kenya Commercial Bank, Eldoret East Branch, and task 3 officials, that is secretary, treasurer, and member of the account signatories as follows. Signing instructions. Any 2 of the officials have to sign, but Mr. Maritim is a mandatory signatory. I think that gave us, normally, I mean, under normal circumstances, there are normally 3, but in this case, it was stated clearly. This was just an error by one of the officials who was filling these forms, and she has signed it there to indicate that she made a mistake, she cancelled it, and went ahead to put the correct narration of how they wanted this account to operate. And I think that is how this particular entry, and the person who was signed there is a staff who was filling these particular forms. She just went ahead, she made a mistake previously, but went ahead to cancel, to indicate how the account was going to be run in collaborations with the minutes.
Chair, allow me to to interject, Chair. I think unless you have changed the bank rules. But what I know, this signature is not to confirm that there was a malversation. There was a place whereby automatic she was supposed to sign. So unless that person had signed twice, I can say. But all in all, it's not even acceptable for a staff to sign to confirm that that alteration was done by maybe himself or herself. Even if it was done by a staff, then it means the other signatories are supposed maybe to fill another form afresh, or maybe to countersign to confirm that that is a mistake that we did, or it was done by somebody. Unless otherwise, maybe if you want to answer that later, you can answer, but what I know, there is a problem somewhere. And I am almost agreeing with what Honorable Jonathan was saying, that the minutes were forged. It means the minutes, this one, it was agreed later to change the minutes, maybe to suit, maybe to have Maritim to be mandatory. But you forgot to also change this one to have Maritim to be mandatory. But anyway, there's no problem. You can proceed with the other questions.
Honorable.
Still your question?
Okay, proceed.
Oh, I proceed.
Are we proceeding or you?
Maybe you can respond to that one.
So there were a couple of questions that I've noted down, just in case we omit any. You will remind us kindly.
Honorable Keitany, in very few words, can you bring up the 2 questions you're saying?
I think it was very clear. The second one was the issue of the documents. Which ones are very important? Which one do you see as important documents? The other one was the issue of the statement that you made, that you just agreed to allow these people to open an account for them to have a deposit. But because of time, I can say, if that was the reason, then I was not expecting to see withdrawals immediately. And that makes me to start think of KCB. If you can have that account to be operated, the deed, you received the trusted deed, that is in March 2022. After the account has been operated for so long.
Point of order, Honorable Keitany. You say there were 2 questions which were not answered. Kindly, can you make them clear so that they can answer? Maybe in... Thank you.
The thing is this, in the minutes of 22nd February,
they are consoling.
maybe
Kindly,
the thing is
can
this.
we give you time to console, and what time? Because a member is on the floor clarifying the 2 questions. Kindly go ahead.
Chair, I think the minutes assisted the manager to open the account.
Yes.
There are some specific condition that any two officials have to sign, but Joseph Kipkemoi Maritime is mandatory. But in this account opening form, it has been left open that any two to sign. I think they should have specified also that Maritime is mandatory.
Back. Are you satisfied, Honorable Keita? Because they have not answered. But I think, Honorable Amos, it's clear. The question is very clear. Even it does not have an answer. Whatever was an instruction is not what the bank officer signed, because he ought to have specified that. But before I return the mic to the chair, the member had asked the question the way, and that's what had agitated me. And Domitila have just accepted that when opening the account of county government of Uasin Gishu, let us come from finance. Why do you think that this was a particular case? Because you said so, and therefore the letter did not come from the department. Because you said this, according to you, it was a different and a particular case. Can you expound the same? Because that's why we are here.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah. Chairman, in addition to that, so that, Chair, you still allow me to ask about these minutes. Chairman, as Honorable Member have just said, this minute, Honorable Chairman, is purported to have been held on 23rd of April. It is indicated there, right? Then, Chairman, the forwarding letter is on 22nd of February. That means this letter was forwarded before the minutes were done. Now, did the bank did not see this?
Honorable Jonathan Keitang. I asked Madam Domitila whether in her wisdom this document satisfied all the merit to allow an account to be opened. And she said that it satisfied her accordingly. So that settles there. It is the wisdom of the bank manager that allowed this letter to occasion the opening of that account. I thought that one we left this there, so that members, can we address other things and note the letter? Thank you so much. I want to acknowledge the presence of other honorable members and other member. I want the members who've just arrived to introduce themselves.
Good afternoon. I am Honorable Sarah Malel, member representing Kimumu.
Good afternoon. I am Honorable Macrina Kabene, a friend to this committee.
Good afternoon. Honorable Hassan Saida, a friend to the committee.
Good afternoon. Honorable Rebecca Cherob, friend to this committee.
Thank you so much. And with us is seated is thank you so much, Honorable DS. I wanted that title to come clear. She is our Deputy Speaker in attendance. And thank you so much, Madam. Here we are discussing Kenya Commercial Bank, Eldoret East Branch. And the bank manager is here with us. And she has owned this document, that now this is her property, and this property ensued the opening of an account in favor of Uasin Gishu Overseas Trust account. She has also acknowledged, if I may put it to you, that all the requests made by Uasin Gishu government to open a bank account is made through the Department of Finance, and that this overseas account was a special account. The nature at which it was a special account, we are yet to know. We are yet to know, and that is how we are engaging members as we proceed on. Yes, what is it, Honorable Mary Goretti?
Chair, looking at the signatures of one Joseph Kikemba Martin, I'm seeing two different signatures here. If you look at the one for account opening at the back, and then we have this one for the minutes, and another one is for trust account. Introduction letter. Kindly check on the three signatures, because Joseph Kipkembai Maritim, and especially the bank opening.
But we are not together. Please. I am not there. The chair is not yet there. So take me to where you are.
Okay, now look at the introductory letter together with the opening of the account and the minutes. Kindly check on the signature for one Joseph Kipkembai Maritim.
Chairman, you know, for the minutes, it did not indicate the name, so we cannot say
that is where I'm lost.
Joseph Kipkembai Maritim.
No, there's a name. There's a name. On the introductory letter, we have a name. And
please do. Please do.
Better.
Thank you so much, honorable members. Now proceed on, Madam Honorable Mary Goretti. I want to know where is your direction?
Thank you, Chair. When you look at the application and the letter of introduction, I can see one Joseph Maritim has done the signing, but when it comes to the bank opening form, this one, you check at the back and look at those signatures. They are not matching, and I want to believe that, Chair, it is the role of the bank also to confirm and verify the signatures of an individual opening an account, and especially one who is mandatory to withdrawals. And I think that could be one of the things that maybe as a bank they could have questioned that. So maybe they can tell us, were they able to see that? Or, Chair, they considered the good relationship that they had.
Thank you so much, Madam Domitila. Now that this question rests on you, what do you have to say about that?
Bwana Chair, with your kind indulgence, I will respond to some of the legal issues they have raised. Then Ms. Domitila will respond to the factual bits, with your kind indulgence.
Proceed.
Thank you. There was a question that was asked, what was the purpose of the trust deed and what was the significance, which I think I can answer together with which documents, according to the bank, can be excused to be supplied later and which one are mandatory for production. And in this particular case, what was the situation? So the purpose of the trust deed, remember the trust deed had, the trust comes into existence through the declaration. So the trust came into existence through the declaration. The deed that came after that was the registration bit to formalize and give it what we call the incorporated aspects to allow it to transact certain businesses in its own name.
Chairman, maybe when he is there, assuming the trust was not registered, what will happen? Assuming that after they have given the application, it's legal.
Order, members. I don't want to disturb the format at which you are answering, but please accommodate him in your response. Thank you.
It's convenient. So, assuming the trust, the trust was not registered. So, an unregistered trust, there are certain things it can and cannot do. And a registered trust, there are certain things it can and cannot do. So we would look. So we would look at now, as far as opening a bank account is concerned, we would look at, we would treat it.
Tony, help us. We want to hear you well by raising your.
It's convenient.
Yeah, bring it closer to your mouth. Thank you.
So for purposes of opening an account, we would treat it as an unincorporated trust. And then we would proceed with that status of an unincorporated trust. And then later on, you can incorporate a trust. And then that changes the status from an unincorporated trust to an incorporated trust. So that's how we would treat it. We would treat it as an unincorporated trust and proceed as such. Therefore, in this scenario, the trust came into existence. There was already a trust. The only thing was the incorporated element that was pending. And therefore, we proceeded on that basis. As far as the documents that are significant or what is not significant.
What is the point of order, Honorable Keitang?
Chair.
With the grey hair.
Chair,
I give you a leeway.
I keep wondering when the learned friend tells us that the trust deed is not that very important. It means you can even go and open a company account, but the first thing you can even go to a KCB account, KCB bank, and open an account and operate. If that company account will not be registered, then it means it's not an issue.
And in addition to that, when Tom Taylor was making a presentation, he said that for to register such account, we need an incorporation certificate. And you said for this case, it is the trust deed. You are very specific, which means trust deed is mandatory, contrary to what our legal counsel is offering us very technical terminology.
Yes, Chairman, the legal counsel is trying to evade. There are some basic things.
The legal counsel is yet even to finish that statement.
Now, Chairman,
I just wanted to accommodate Honorable Keitang in it.
Yes. Now, Chairman.
Order, Honorable Ngetich. Legal counsel for the bank. If you would wish to withdraw that as you proceed on, you've told us plainly that that document is not important.
I will rephrase. I will not rephrase, but I will simply do it this way. If you look at the trust deed agreement, it is incorporated under the Trustees Perpetual Succession Act. The law governing trust, there are two acts. The first one is the Trust Act. And the moment you have you have come up with a trust deed, the declaration of trust that states out the terms, the conditions, how they will be appointed, all that. That trust is we call it an incorporated trust, and it is a trust under the Trustees Act. Then, if you want it now to be incorporated, you proceed.
Kindly.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, thank you, Chair. As you have said that once there is that trustee deed, in the first place you've told us some of the trustees did not submit their identification. So how do you accommodate the trustee deed, yet the particulars of those trustees are not with you?
Very important. Chairman, we have 6 trustees.
Yes.
Why
proceed.
accommodate 3 and leave the rest and say it is for record purposes? Why?
Bwana Chair.
Mr. Attorney, you know, if you give us scanty information, we will not move from where we are. And if you choose to be economical in terms of your response, it is the reason why these members are not comfortable. I wish we were going on smoothly. Telling us a lot of English in this matter may not help us much. But what we are interested is to understand the procedures of the bank. Remember, you are telling the nation that KCB works this way. That besides maybe other banks, it is on the Hansard that this team, the 3, felt that dealing with other banks, in fact they said the other banks were strict. They told it is on the Hansard here that the other banks were strict and KCB was good for them. So I want you to help KCB in telling the whole nation that dealing with KCB is the right thing to do, and that procedures, order members, and that procedures for one to have an account with KCB are in line with the law, and that they are stringent like any other bank. But when you stand here before the public and tell us that the other names were just for the record, the other signatures were just there, we did not need it immediately, and that we allowed this account to come because there was some money, there was 900,000 that needed to be deposited immediately. So you know, you are indicting the good company of KCB, and that's why I'm asking you that any response you give us, let it help the image of KCB and satisfy the membership here. So, a good question.
Chair, point of order. Why should you allow them or help them to give them a good name if that is who they are?
Thank you. I'm giving you back the mic so that you address, you were interrupted while addressing us back. And the question came from Honorable Keitaj. Please respond to that as we proceed on.
If only I could...
Order members, I want to give him uninterrupted, the legal officer. I want to give you an uninterrupted response. Please proceed.
Yeah, if only I could be allowed to proceed, explain my responses. And as I've said, the bit for why the other documents are supplied later, those are the factual issues that Domitila will deal with. I'm only responding to the question that I was asked, whether what was then the purpose of a trust deed, and the only way to address that would be from a legal point of view. And as I've stated, that for you to register a trust, it is a 2-stage process. And if maybe there could be any legal mind here, then they would concur. That first, you create a trust deed. That's what you call the declaration of trust. And as far as that deed is concerned, that deed, that trust has already come into existence once that deed is done that. Then if you wish that deed to be incorporated, because it's not a mandatory under the law that a deed be be registered. Then you move to the next step, and that is the registration under the Perpetual Trustees Act, and that's what now gives you the certificate of incorporation. Okay, therefore, at the point this declaration came into existence, then the trust was in existence, and you can treat it as an unincorporated trust at that point in time and do deal with it as such. Then, was there any due diligence done? She'll respond to that question so that I see if I've captured those questions correctly. Then you can remind me. Then there is an allegation that the bank colluded. There is an allegation of forgery. There is an allegation of alterations. All those are serious allegations. Those ones are bordering on criminal elements, which we cannot be able to respond at the risk of, because those are conclusions that already have been drawn. So they are not questions by any stretch of imagination. Therefore, those conclusions, we will leave them as such, as the conclusion of the members who have raised them, that there was this, there was that, based on their own personal analysis. But from the bank's point of view, we will not incriminate ourselves in saying anything with regards to the criminality of those aspects that they have raised. Those are the conclusions of the members, and we will leave it at that. But as far as the signatures are concerned, the variances, because that is, I think, a factual question that has been pointed out and can be seen and be gleaned from the documentation, we can see that what we would say, or rather what I would say to that, is that a member is not restricted to only a single signature at any point in time. We all have different signatures for various activities. I would presume the signature that you use for your very important formal engagements is not the same signature you use when you are signing roles and entering buildings, because that could be picked. So I would not really conclude why this specific officer decided to use this signature while writing the letter, but use this signature while executing the formal documents that are required in the bank. That one is something that only the officer can answer, why he did that. I would not be able to give that. But so long as he is the one who appeared before the bank, verified by his ID, verified by his KRA PIN, and appended his signature in person, then you have no doubt to tell him this signature is not yours. You cannot do that as a bank, because he is there. Why it's the signature brought by another person, then you would question whether it is.
Thank you. On that, would you allow us to note that discrepancy? Do you have a problem with it? We just note that discrepancy in the signatures. Is it important to note, or you would ask the committee to overlook that?
That is something that is visible. There is nothing we can say about it. It's visible from the documents. And then what was the, then we've been asked what was the, now as far as the various documents that we have listed, which ones could be excused and which one were mandatory to be used at the specific time. I think Domitila had answered that earlier on, and we stated that it is at the discretion of the bank with regards to that specific document, because it could be as well be an ID that you have left in your car or you have left in your office and you would rush to bring it later on. So would that prevent us? So it would be decided on a case-by-case basis, which document have you not supplied, and then we would know what significance that document would bear to the opening of this account, and then decide whether we were going to allow you to bring it later on. But nevertheless, any allowance for you to bring that document is done within a specified period of time for you to deliver it. And then when it comes to the mandate of the account, I think Domitila has explained that the mandate, as indicated in the account opening form, is any two to sign, and as per the minutes, it is that any two to sign, with the principal trustee signature being mandatory. So Domitila can confirm whether maybe the operations of that account have happened with regards to the pursuant to the mandatory signature always having signed as per the minutes authorizing the opening of the account, as well as per the letter of introduction. Whether that has actually happened, she can confirm that in the positive, that she has adhered to the minutes and the letter of introduction. And then oh yes, then there have been a question to do with supplying then information of all the accounts. Then the IBs, I mean the KCB holds with regards to the county government of Uasin Gishu. I would just like to say that's something we cannot honor, because the account that brought us here is specific. The account with regards to this particular trust. Not all the accounts of the county assembly and how they were opened. Those ones are not in issue before this committee, so we cannot honor such. Then the other thing is, if you look at the list of documents that we listed that were required, we did not give you the KRA PIN and the IDs of the individual account holders. We have given you everything else apart from those ones, because those ones are personal documents that disclose the personal details and we are barred from by the Data Protection Act from disclosing personal details of individuals. So those ones we could not give, but they were supplied, and it's on the basis of all that we were able to open this bank account. The Domitila can answer to any question of fact that you have raised, and then you can tell us if we have covered.
Okay, it's okay. Domitila. Order, honorable member, order. Let's keep our, let's order. Don't go there, hold it. I will let you have the time. Domitila?
Okay. Thank you, Chair. And through the Chair, I want to communicate this way. There was the question of whether the account was opened according to the requirements and according to the mandate. As per what was presented to us, we used those particular documents to open the account, and the mandate of the account was run according to the signatures of the mandate held, which was detailed in the signatures, in the letters, in the minutes that were brought along when opening this particular account. Thank you.
What is it, Honorable Mary Goretti?
Thank you, Chair. The legal counsel has said that we cannot really disclose those accounts that are held by the county government of Uasin Gishu. Remember, the same information came from you, because you said the county government of Uasin Gishu has many accounts with us, and that's why we had that mutual relationship. And therefore, when honorable member said the only person who is authorized to have to give authorization of opening of an account is the chief officer for finance. Now, here you want to run away from the same, yet this house is mandated. We know all the accounts, and because we are questioning this
Order, Mary Goretti.
Just a minute.
What he said is that he supplied information to the extent of the account in question, so that if the county assembly wants to write to KCB demanding the rest, we can do so, and they have not said that they will not respond in that manner. Honorable members, and our visitors. Let me change the subject of the engagement in this manner. That the documents you received allowed the members of trustee to have an account with you. Now, for the purposes of deposits, because you said that they had some money in cash and they wanted to deposit. Now, with the same conditions, would the same documentation as supplied by the trustees, would the same documentations give you or give the bank authority to allow for withdrawals? Or maybe withdrawals needed some more stringent measures? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question, Chair. I'll respond it the question through the Chair. We didn't receive all the documents at the time when the account was being opened, and through the normal procedure, we told them that the trustees that we were going to allow you a window period of 90 days to submit the remaining documents that we still required. That went ahead, and we waited for the 90 days for them to submit those particular documents and conclude the process of the account opening documentation. Along the way, as the process was going on, we allowed them on their request, to transact this particular in the account. Why? Because at that time, there were already parents who had deposited funds, and some of the transactions there were being done to pay school fees to the university. So if we had stopped and disallowed the operation of the account, the stakeholders were going to suffer. So that is why we allowed the operation of the account to proceed, more so because students were involved here and they were going to travel abroad. So we allowed them to operate the account so that those other operational and other, the students would travel, and all other requirements that were needed to be done to facilitate that could proceed. Thank you.
Now, Madam Domitila, I think at some point you will tell us your interest in the welfare of the students and the programs of Uasin Gishu, because so you set aside the minimum requirements of the bank to transact business, to transact the account, because there is a demand from Uasin Gishu. And the question of school fees and the question of, because of that demand, you allowed this, the account to transact business and not looking into the principal requirements needed for an account to operate within your bank. And please let her respond to that so that I come to you, Honorable Mary Goretti. You can as well tell us, if one of them was if you had a child and you felt that maybe school fees is needed and you had the money, please help us understand,
Let me respond it. Okay, thank you, Chair. Let me respond it this way. With the absence of those particular documents, every other thing was there, apart from the trust deed. And I said it was only the trust deed. The declaration of trust was already there.
So you are telling us that the documentations
Was
in your possession
Yes.
allowed you to transact the account, to allow the account to be transacted, and not the demand, the public demand, or the county assembly's need for that account to operate?
What I would say is whatever had been given to us allowed the account to operate.
Thank you. Honorable Mary Goretti.
Thank you, Chair. According to the bank statement that is here, as she had said, Domtila said first deposit was 890,500, which is okay, it is there. And following it, the first withdrawal was done by one Mayo. I don't know who is Mayo. Then, when it comes to issues to do with the school fees of the student, the opening of the account was done in May 2021, and according to the first tranche of payment that was given was on 14th of July 2021. So when she says that we allowed the operation of the account to allow the students to go, that was in July. Yet already they had done some transaction in between, like 27th of May, if you can check on first page of the statement. And it is her who did the withdrawal of 120,000. Maybe tell us, this money came from the county government of Uasin Gishu, and today you are the withdrawing person as the manager. How did it happen? Thank you.
I wish to respond to that question. We allowed the operation of the account, and on 27th May, there was a withdrawal of 120,000. This withdrawal was brought to my attention because one of the signatory was coming to withdraw. One, they did not have a checkbook. And under the circumstances where they do not have a checkbook, we would normally allow withdrawals through the normal voucher. The cashier would not proceed to pay without authority from myself or the manager operations. And that is why this particular voucher came to my attention for me to authorize the payment. I want to state here that this particular payment was paid to one Mesha Chrono, and he is the one of the signatory who collected the payment. My name was inadvertently posted as the authorizer that I took the money. I want to state in this committee, to this committee, that I never received this money and have never received any money from this committee, from the signatories. The voucher is here, and I can share it for your consumption. It is here with me. And
Chair, while she's there,
Order, Mary Goretti, order. You know, you don't just come to chair and then you proceed on asking your question. Madam Domitila, are you through?
Yes.
Is that part of the documents we have, or that is another page you want to table to this house?
I think because this one is personally touching on me as an individual, I thought it is good I just bring it for your consumption as well as for your records, because it
now help us to understand. It brings to another question.
Yes.
That for money to be withdrawn,
yes,
what documents do you need? Because this is a trust account. What documents do you need accompanying? Do you need, now, I don't want to feed you, I don't want to preempt. What documents do you need for money to be withdrawn before we reach, before we go to where you are now?
Yes. what we normally request, especially for transactions over 1 million, we require supporting documents that accompany that particular withdrawal. Other withdrawals below that threshold, we would allow as long as it meets the particular mandate of the account, the ones who are running this particular account. But again,
Madam Domitila, with the knowledge I have, is that if I want to withdraw $1 million in KCB today, my private account, I will need a document.
Supporting document.
Supporting
yes.
document.
Correct.
Now, is it the same with doing it on a trust account?
Yes.
That any withdrawal above $1 million, you know, these are regulations made by Kenya Commercial Bank. Any withdrawals above 1 million on trust or a group account, you need a documentation so that below 1 million you can just go as long as there's those signatures.
Yes, I think, let me just put it this way, through the chair, thank you. Any withdrawal above 1 million, that is a central bank requirement, and it's across all the banks that you must bring in supporting documents for any transaction, whether individual or a trust account. You must bring supporting documents, a letter, or whether it's school fees you're paying to which university. We attach those particular documents to allow that particular transaction to be transacted. Thank you.
Maybe Chair, confirm some. Just
Honorable Gaitany, and
thank you, Chair. Just wanted to confirm.
Honorable, yes, thank you. Honorable Gaitany.
I wanted to know which kind of account is this? Is it a current account or a savings account?
That is a current account, in particular into the category of community account. And if you'll notice, there are no charges pertaining this particular account, and in terms of monthly charges, they are normally exempted because it's a community account.
And then if it was a current account, then I was expecting you to issue the signatories with the account check, not debit slip like this one.
Yes, let me come to that. They were supposed to use a counter check. That is, in our current situation, that is the counter check voucher that we are using. That is what I was authorizing. And whatever I've signed there, that is my signature authorizing that payment without the checkbook. That is why my signature is appended on that particular voucher. And it was signed by...
So you are confirming that this is a counter check in case
Correct. Yes.
In case if I come and maybe I don't have my checkbook, this is what I will say.
Correct.
Yes, Honorable Naomi.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Chair. I think I have one question. I think when withdrawals are done, especially in these conjoint accounts, 3 signatories should be present. How comes an individual withdraw cash from the bank?
Now, maybe to put that into context, on withdrawals below $1 million, the document here says any 2 can transact that business. Do you also require a decision? Because you remember from the deed, the chairman is not the trustee. I mean, is not the signatory. The chairman, Mr. Chelule, is not the a signatory. Do you need a decision from the trustee, that is now the chairman, or official from, I mean, that a decision from that body saying that please withdraw this amount for this purpose?
Thank you, Chair, for that question. I think I would respond to that question that the withdrawals were done according to the mandate of how the account was run. According to what we had stated when they gave us the signatories who are going to operate the account. And that is how we proceeded to allow whatever transaction was going on as per the mandate of the account.
Chair.
What is it, Honorable Wanjohi?
Yes, the witness is avoiding that question. He's going round and round on that question. The question was very straight and clear. Do you need memos or any letter from the trust, from the trustees, all of them, as to effect to withdraw any amount of money? It's a straight answer. It's a straight question.
Thank you for the question, through the chair. What I said is we would get letters from the trustees mandated to operate the account. And that is what we were utilizing to allow transactions to happen in that particular account. Thank you.
Do I take that to mean that for every withdrawal, there was a letter effecting it from the trustee?
According to, I have stated earlier that on amounts that were above 1 million, we needed some documentary evidence which the mandated signatories of the account would provide to come along with those withdrawals. But for withdrawals that were below, some of them, they would withdraw without supporting documents, but they would be signed according to the mandate we held, which was the same one that we used when we were opening the account. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Mary Goretti.
Thank you, Chair. Domtila told us that there was one who was mandatory in terms of any transaction. So tell us, when Meshach Rono was actually getting 120 through you, where was the mandatory man, which is Maritime, when he was withdrawing the 120? Where was he? Because that one is the mandatory man that must be there while any transaction is being done.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable. Through the chair, I want to respond to that question. That voucher I have circulated was signed by the signatory, that is Mr. Maritime, the mandatory signatory. And because any of the signatories can collect cash, that is allowed in the bank. He's the one who came and collected the money. And that is why his ID and his telephone details are appended on that voucher. Thank you.
Chair.
Honorable Enjoy.
Yes. I want to bring...
Honorable Mary Goretti, please switch off the mic.
I want to bring the legal officer back on the question on concealment of other accounts bearing the name of Yosinkishu. And the response was that that is not a subject matter before this petition. While we agree partly with it, but there was, and Chair, you'll guide me, because I cannot figure it out, but it came through while we were going with the petition. There was a transfer that was made from this account into Yosinkishu account, but we could not figure out the specific account on the Yosinkishu account. The finance CC was here, and he told us that he didn't see that kind of a transaction. So we were very anxious as to if there could be any other accounts that are not known within this house. So the matter of your Singishu accounts is clearly a matter before this committee. Any other account bearing the name of your Singishu account?
Okay, thank you. And through the chair, I would really wish you can give me the specific date so that I can go through the statement and explain which particular transaction.
Let us figure it out as we go on. We'll give you the specific before we finish.
Okay, thank you.
Chair. Honorable member from Moy's Bridge. Honorable Kimayo.
Yeah, I just wanted to understand this a bit, Chair. It's written here that any two, when it comes to the operation of the account, any two of the officials have to sign. But Mr. Joseph Kipkemboi Maritim is a mandatory. Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to understand this, maybe so that I get clear. It is written here that any two of the officials have to sign, but Mr. Joseph Kipkemboi Maritim is a mandatory signatory. I just wanted to understand this. If that 120 we are talking about, two of them signed, or it was only the man mentioned, and I mean 3 of them, because this one says 2 of them, yeah? And Kipkemboi is mandatory. So I wanted to understand if this man is allowed to transact business without anybody else in that account.
Chair.
Because it's because the question came from me, perhaps you can have the clerk tracking that account down. Oh, it's here. Okay.
We've already gotten. On 4th of May, 2022, whereby we have 313,906.
Okay, maybe as we go through the statements, I can respond to the other question through the chair that asked that the mandatory signatory of this particular transaction of 120. I want to state here that this particular transaction was signed by 3 signatories, and the person who collected the funds was one Meshach Rono. On the question that this particular, the principal trustee was allowed to operate without the signatures of the other, that one I want to state that irrespective of whether it was him transacting, the other signatories had to sign to allow him withdraw from the account, any funds from the account. Thank you.
Chair.
Yes, Honorable Saida Hassan.
Yes. My question is concerning the signatories. Their signatures. I want to take you back, Madam Domtila, to the declaration of trust. Kindly check the signature of Meshach Rono and Joel Ruto. Joel Ruto. This is a very important document that was sworn before an advocate in Nairobi. And their signatures differs.
Order, Honorable Shah, that one has been proceed.
No.
Oh, proceed.
I'm talking about the 2 signatories.
Proceed.
That's Meshach and Joel.
That's
their signatures differ from the form that was signed in the bank. Did you really peruse the documents, Madam Domtila?
Thank you, and through the chair, I want to respond to that question. According to what was submitted to us, and I think with them having been present at the branch, they were physically present. So they were there in person. And according to me, they signed the form that was in front of us, and we were able to verify these were the persons who had been nominated with their details, with the ID and the PIN, which they presented to us at the branch.
Did you verify, my dear?
Yes, I did.
The declaration of trust?
Yes.
From the lawyer?
Yes. And the signatures, according to me, were the same.
Really? No.
Which one?
Kindly check.
Kindly.
Let me
you
check.
said the signatures that don't match is in there? The declaration? Yes. Okay. So, again, sorry, we were comparing the wrong documents. So.
Apologies for that.
Apologies for that. We were looking at the transaction sheet as comparing it with the account opening form. Sorry, that's what we were looking at. Now, thank you for that correction. So you are saying that the signatures of Meshach as well as Ruto in the declaration of trust do not correspond with their signature in which document? The account opening form or the transaction? The transaction. So, one, when you're opening a bank account, the bank go with the sample signatures provided in the account opening form. We don't go with any other document. We go with, this is the document, so that whatever signature you attach to this is the sample signature. This is what we correspond with. Therefore, when they came and did this transaction, if you compare the signature in this transaction, as well as the signature in the account opening form, then those signatures correspond, unless we would require a handwriting expert to come and verify. But Kazori look, from where I stand, those signatures do correspond. And that is, the account opening form is the reference document when we are referring to whether the sample signature provided corresponds with the signature you have appended on the document that you are seeking to transact with, not the other documents that you supplied in support of account opening form. And that's why I take us back to the very beginning, that we all sign differently in various circumstances, and that could explain the differences in the signatures. But for purposes of transactions in the bank, the sample reference is the account opening form, not any other document.
Wakili, and thank you for your submission. Wakili, you know, you are telling us that Madam Domitila aliona hayo, aliona kila kitu na akasema ni sawa tu. Unajua sasa, you are trying to confirm to us that indeed it was true when they told us that dealing with KCB was a little easier. Kwa sababu sasa hayo yametendeka, yameonekana kwa hii kamati, wameweza kuipick within less than an hour. Tangu tupewe hizo makaratasi tumeweza kuona hizo vitu zote, lakini kwa Domitila bado ni sawa. Ni sawa, as long as haijaribu kazi yake bado ni sawa. Unajaribu kutuambia hivyo ya kwamba as long as bado the primary document yako ni sawa na imefanana na hii, wewe uko sawa, you don't, haikusumbui sana the other documents. Is that what you are telling us?
Okay, thank you, Chair. I want to respond into that question because, one, as much as the signatures differ, do not appear to be the same, these were people present when we were opening this particular account. So they were there in person, and they could say this particular signature on this document is not mine because this is what we were brought when they were opening the account, the declaration of trust. If at all the signature was not his, he had the opportunity at that time to say, my signature is not right. He presented himself in person, and that is why it...
Chair, please.
Yes, Honorable. And you know you've cut her short.
Yeah, I wanted on that point.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to understand if my first signature is okay with her, then I come with a wrong signature, but I'm present there, for her it's okay. I transact business.
Proceed, Madam Domitila.
I think that takes us back to the document that is for the account opening, which is the one that we hold at the bank. That is the one now that you will give us that specimen signature that we will adapt such that going forward, this is the document we will use when you present yourself to the bank. Anything different from this particular signature is what we will return you and say, you've not signed according to the mandate that you gave us when you first opened the account.
Then, on relation to that, then did you treat any other document with a different signatory as not being authentic when you received any other document with a different signature?
They were. That's why I've explained that as much as they were different, the people who were presenting those documents were there in person, and that gave me the satisfaction that the signatures belonged to them.
Through the chair, how do you identify a person?
Through his identification documents.
Yes,
which is the ID.
Now we are there.
Yes.
Through the identification or the signature.
Through the identification documents.
If that person has a twin brother and it comes with the ID, so you mean the ID is just the basis for identification only?
Senior Counsel, please respond to that question.
I think in response to
maybe to add to that, for the purpose of these proceedings, Meshach has a twin brother who looks exactly like him. Did you have the right person that day? Thank you.
So if I may respond to that. First, you should understand that the bank does not have a depository of signatures to use to verify any signature that comes before it, other than the signature that is provided on the account opening form. So the moment the depository of signatures, if I may call it so, is your signature is entered there at the point the bank-customer relationship has been created through the opening of the bank account, filling the form, appending your signature, providing that as your sample signature, and anything from there onwards should always correspond with that. As for the documents now you present in support for you opening this account, which the bank has asked you to supply. If today you brought that document, it is you standing before me, and you told me, this is me, this is my ID, I verify that indeed the name in this document corresponds with your ID, and then you say, this is my signature, I'm the one who signed here, then what else, what other step is the bank supposed to take beyond that? Is that verification sufficient for any reasonable bank to verify that the person before me is the owner of this signature, which they have acknowledged is theirs, as far and well as is the holder of this identity document which they have supplied, which corresponds with their KRA PIN as well, and they have supplied even the photographs which have been taken and they have been put in the system. The bank has already done that. And that takes us back to a question I think was asked by Honorable, I can't remember his name, whether due diligence was done. The bank verifies all that document that you bring, and it is satisfied that the person before me is whom he claims to be. and then we go ahead and open the account.
For the record, Chair, through Chair, we are members of, we are your clients, and we know what we go through there. If I give a different sign, I'm required by the bank to make another signature there and there. You treating this signature issue as if it's not of much importance. Then what is the importance of having a signature? If tomorrow I'll come with a different signature and just tell you I'm the one, I decided to change the signature without having any affidavit, anything to show that.
Now, Bwana Wakili, you know, you are telling the whole nation that KCB Eldoret East, as long as you give us your ID, we don't mind so much about the signature. Now, I want us to learn that from here. We don't mind so much. As long as you scribble something there, it's okay.
Bwana Chair, I think with all due respect, those were not my words. My words were very clear and succinct. That you present, I would assume all of us hold a bank account. When we presented ourselves before the bank account, before the bank of our choice, we were asked, provide A, B, C, D. You provided all that. The bank checks and ticks that you have provided this. The next thing is you're supplied with an account opening form and told to fill it, and then provide us with a sample signature. That is the signature you append there. Get me right. From the time you have appended that signature, and I want this to go on record, from the time you have appended your signature on the account opening form and said this is my sample signature, cannot come tomorrow and append a different signature and the transaction will go through. That cannot happen. It will not be allowed, and even our client, the bank, does not allow that. KCB does not allow that. Your signature has to always rhyme, correspond with the sample signature that you provided on the account opening day. Therefore, for transaction purposes, and that's what I want to be clear, for transacting this account, your signature has to always correspond with the first signature you provided, unless you do come later on and say, I have changed my signature, where there are procedures for changing that signature.
Thank you.
And
thank
then
you,
you provide a new sample.
And yeah, thank you. You've told us enough on that. Now, what about these documents? Who gives authenticity of the account? Now, before we have that account, there are these documents that gives this account the authenticity or the mandate to operate. Do you do due diligence to confirm that the signatures in the document you've been given are worth the running of this account? I'm asking that question to the bank. That these other documents, the deeds, all these other documents, do you do due diligence as a primary document needed in this process? Do you give it due diligence to confirm that indeed Mr. Maritim or Meshach has appended his signature according to the law for this account to run? Or as long as the document is there, then we can proceed? Perhaps members, maybe that question I have not framed it well. Can somebody who has gone to law school package that well for their consumption?
In layman's language, Bwana Wakili, was this document having a different signature treated as alien before you? It's a yes or a no, so that we may go on with other things. It's a yes or a no.
The declaration of trust, it wasn't treated as alien because the trustees who had appended their signatures on this document were present.
Chair, let's move on from that. It's very clear.
Thank you so much. Perhaps I will welcome another batch of questions from members.
I think I can clarify.
There is something you want to clarify?
Yes, I think
Thank
there
you.
was that question that on a transaction on 4th May. I want to clarify on the same. The transaction on 4th May, that was indicating bill pay. This particular payment was paying the students for insurance services. That was the pay bill number. And why it captures Uasin Gishu is because the narration was a transfer from this particular account whose title is Uasin Gishu Overseas Trust. So the first two names would be picked. That is why that narration is showing there. And even as you go ahead, there are subsequent bill payments. You will see those particular ones were insurance payment, which was for the students, and we were transferring to our KCB account of KCB Insurance. Thank you.
Honorable Keitang. Honorable Keitang.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to confirm if, in case they have, apart from the signatories, that is Mesha, Kruto, and Martrim, do we have other signatories or maybe agents to that account?
And there is something I hear, that you have an insurance account.
Okay, maybe thank you, Chair. I needed to clarify. We have a KCB insurance agency within our bank, where when they were we were transacting these particular transactions for these students, we would transfer money from Uasin Gishu Overseas Trust account to our KCB insurance account. And that is why it is showing that narration was in Gishu.
Through you, Chair. Through you, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Sato.
Thank you so much. Through you, just wanted to know, does it mean that you are the ones providing insurance?
Yes, through our agency department of KCB Insurance, we were providing the insurance for the students.
These are students who are going to study in abroad. And if it is a matter of insurance, the people you are insuring are not here in Kenya. Then why hold their insurance within KCB account, yet they are supposed to be getting the services from where they are in? Secondly, Chair, how many times do you allow withdrawals in your bank in a day?
Honorable Merigorete, maybe you hold that one a bit, because I don't want us to lose the substance of the first question. You know, we were dealing with accounts withdrawal to Uasin Gishu account.
Yes.
And on this one particularly, you said that they were paying for the insurance.
Correct.
And according to the information we have on our record is that our students were insured by ICEA Lions. Now, perhaps you may want to tell us what was the insurance for.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. I wish to respond to that. Before the students traveled, they needed to pay for the travel insurance. That's a mandatory requirement through even the visa process. That is one of the documents that will be required when the student goes to the embassy to submit. They require the travel insurance. One, we have, as a bank, we have onboarded agents, and ICEA is one of those agents. But for us to pay for those particular insurance, we have a KCB account that we normally transfer funds so that they can proceed and process the insurance. And that is why that particular narration is appearing as Uasin Gishu. I want to state here that there was no money that we transferred to Uasin Gishu County government. It is just the narration that picked the name of Uasin Gishu, and that is why they're appearing on that. And even if you go ahead, there's that bill payment. And the insurance was just to pay, to facilitate the students to travel, and that was part of the requirements when they were getting their visas. And insurance payment was, insurance of travel was required among the documents that they needed at the embassy. And we were,
this begs a question. Who insured Uasin Gishu students? Who insured their medical insurance? Who did that?
It is ICA through our KCB insurance agency department.
So if you want to know the money paid by this trustee, if you want to know how much was paid for insurance, yes, we will come to KCB.
True.
Thank you. Honorable Hanjoi.
Chair, still on the same, do we have any other account apart from now the government account, the normal one that we all know? Do you have any other account having the name Uasin Gishu County? Any other account?
Maybe you can respond.
Let me help you in that. There is a transaction made on 4th May 2022 worth 313,906 shillings. There is another one of 7th June 2022 7th June 2022, and this is 111,845. That is bill pay Uasin Gishu County. There is another transaction of 28th June. Pick it there. And this is 4,596,000. And at the same time, 28th June again. That is it, 4,596,000. So please, while responding, try to assist us in those accounts. And again, was those, because they are more than 1 million, was there a decision made by the trustee and signed by the chairman that this transaction take place?
Okay. I think I want to state that on 4th May, that is the question that came earlier, that what was this particular transaction? It is the narration that is bill pay. If you can check the statement, that was the insurance, and documents were provided with the name of the list of the students and how much each student was supposed to pay. And we went ahead and transacted. The same document was signed by the trustees that had been mandated to operate the account. That is on 4th May. On 7th June, the same transaction on insurance was done, signed by the list of the students, and 7th May, June, the same narration that bill pay, and the narration still was in Gishu, but that was the same payment for insurance. And if called upon to submit these particular documents, they are there in record, and they were signed by those trustees who are mandated to operate the account. And then the one for 4 million was the same on 28th June. The same was still payment in regard to insurance, and we were submitted to the documents that were accompanying that payment, and that's why we were able to transfer and pay for those particular students for their insurance.
I'm interested on that transaction because it's worth more than $1 million.
Yes.
Was there a letter from... I want to see where the chairman of the trust is involved in this. You may advise us that the chairman of the trust, of the trustee, was not involved in any of the transactions with this account, or as far as this account is concerned, so that we set him free.
Okay, what I would respond, how I'll respond to this, I can't really recall the details of what is in this particular document unless I confirm on the same. But what I know and I can submit to the committee is it was a transfer of insurance payment, and we were given documents on regard to the same.
What is it, Mheshimiwa?
Chair, then allow the respondent then to file those details that he has in response to those 4 transactions, the ones that he or she may be having in the office to support her claims, so that we may know if actually the chairman was there or not.
Is it an undertaking you can take on your side to provide us more with details of... And together, there is another account, Madam Domitila, and this is dated July 6th, 2022. Transfer UG County, a sum of 32,640,000. We want to know where that money went, and number 2, who authorized or who is the originator of that decision. 6th July 2022.
Thank you for the question.
Chair.
Order. Let her respond to that, then I'll come back to you.
Yeah, I wanted to add on what you're saying.
Okay.
Because the same.
Thank you.
If you see on 5th January.
5th January
23.
23.
And the same day, there were 2 transactions you can see there. Because it seems this person knows the requirements. So they transferred 500 and something, and then 500 something. If you can check there.
5th January?
The same. 5th January 2023. Yeah.
23.
Yeah, let me read it and then you see.
5th January 20 transfer.
Yes.
Of 524.
Yeah, you can see.
Ikal Phyllis Wanjiku.
Yes.
And Kipkemoi Lele.
Yes. That, you see how it divided the same. The money is divided in the middle because they know it's a requirement for $1 million to be transferred.
They wanted to withdraw $1 million.
Yes.
Maybe we need also to know the relationship between Phyllis Wanjiku and Kipkemoi Lele.
And so maybe when she answers,
now,
let us know how...
Before we go there, Honorable Kimeli.
Yes, sir.
Let us first get to know whether there was a proper documentation.
Yes.
On withdrawals beyond $1 million.
Okay. Okay.
Proceed on, Madam Domitila.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I want to respond to... I don't know whether I start with the one of 32 million, then I can go to this other one. Okay. On 6th July, there is a transfer of 32 million. That is UG County, MDC 212. Whatever, I mean the numbers, I don't want to put more details on that. In this case, this is a multiple direct credits. These are multiple direct credits where, according to what transpired at that time, the trustees came to us and advised us that they had challenges in getting visas for these particular students, and that there was a need to ensure that there was money in the students' account. And in this process, they had requested, at this point in time, these were funds that had been deposited by the parents to ensure that, to also provide accommodation. So the money was already sitting in this overseas account. So they approached us and told us, one, they needed to transfer the funds to individual customers.
Order. You said the trustees.
Yes.
The signatories or the trustees?
The signatories. The signatories who are also trustees.
So they approached you?
Yes.
They approached the bank?
Yes.
With a requisition or a request, a formal request, or ilikuwa kamukunji?
It was a formal request and we had a meeting in my office.
Proceed.
Yes, they came.
They have said it's a formal request. Do you have a document or a letter to that?
Okay, I didn't have a document at this. I can't. I have to go and check if there was any document. But I remember us having a sitting, so that we could come to an agreement on how.
Now, a sitting. Order, wakili. Order, wakili. Order. Is that question a matter of law? So that if it is not, it's a question of whether there was a meeting or not. Is there a law that is? Do you have a?
Yes, Bwana Chair. Thank you for that jibe. Yes, I'm not trying to say anything. All I'm just trying to inform her is that there are documentations which we carried and there are those ones which we didn't. Okay? And with regards to those specific transactions that you have mentioned, we don't have the documents here with us. That's what she intended to say, that those ones we don't have them here. Okay? Yes.
Chair.
Now, and that's what I'm reminding her, the documents we have here and those ones we don't have.
Okay, thank you so much. But it is in her submission that there was a meeting. And that the meeting was convened by her.
She has not spoken of
Okay. Let me put the question straight. Let me put the question straight. That the trustees came to KCB and with a request of such nature, without a letter from the chairman of the trustee. And that because there was no letter from the chairman of the trustee, then you had a meeting. And that meeting, you said you don't know whether it was minuted.
It wasn't.
It wasn't minuted. Can you proceed from there? Because ni kama nilikufungia. Yes?
For any transactions to be done in this account, I want to believe as a branch manager, you don't play any role as per se. Because yours is for them as trustees to sit wherever they are sitting and bring you documentation to say we want to withdraw this amount of money. And from there, you cannot sit again on a round table to make a decision on how they can withdraw that amount. it's like you are guiding them on
Order.
how best.
Member for
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Kipsomba. You know, there is something she told us and she withdrew, that they had a special relationship. So, but she withdrew. So it's upon us to know the nature of their engagement, because now this is a whooping 32 million, and the decision is that we want to. You have not said why. Please come.
Okay. Chairman.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Through the chair, I want to respond to that question. One, I want to say that they came to the branch as customers. And also, they came with a document. And there are things that we could do within our mandate as a bank, and there are things we couldn't do. And that is why...
You know, you are saying they came with a document.
Yes, a letter requesting we transfer funds to the individual student's account.
Letter
That-
signed by who?
By the trustees, authorizing the payment to be transferred to students' accounts.
By the three.
By the three of them, yes.
So the chair is not seen in this.
No.
Do you know the chair? Do you know the chairman of the trustee?
Yes, I do.
Have you interacted with him at one point or another?
Yes.
In as far as this matter is concerned?
Yeah, he has come to my office.
Gave you his blessings.
We've spoken.
And how much is he involved in this?
I will not want to divulge
Thank
those
you. Thank you. Proceed.
details, but what I want to confirm to this committee, he has come to my office, not once, not twice. I can confirm it's almost 3 times. Yes, but I'll not divulge more.
The nature of the visit?
No, I will not want to divulge that information, but I have met him physically. Yes.
Is it of the interest of this? Did he come in his capacity as the chair or as an individual?
He came in the capacity of a chair.
Thank you. Proceed.
Okay, so this 32 million in question, then what they requested us, they were requesting us to do, so we had to sit and see how best we could handle the situation. There were things we could do that was within the bank's mandate and things we could not do. So that is why it necessitated that meeting. They were all there and we agreed, and they requested us through an official letter.
All there to mean the 3?
Yes.
Thank you.
Requesting us through their official letter to transfer these funds to the individual student's account. Then the question arose now. Once the money is in the student's account, what happens if the student can access the funds and decides to utilize, yet at the end of all these transactions and once they have gotten their visas, the money is supposed to go back to the Uasin Gishu trustee account. Well, that was when now we sat and we told them, yes, there's a way we can do it. We will support you on that. And that is when now we advised them that we could lock the account, but we will need express authority from the students authorizing the funds back to their accounts. And the students will have to come in person to come and do the transactions because they are the holders of that account. They are the ones who will authorize the payment back to Uasin Gishu County. And that is what we did. And that is why that narration is appearing in UG County. Those are funds held, awaiting the visa processing, and thereafter the funds are returned back to the overseas trust account. Thank you.
Chair.
Honorable Kaitany.
Maybe on that narrative, so I'm not staff to KCB, but I thought maybe the best narrative was that it should appear, it should have maybe, you should have put it something like transfer to students' account, not to Uasin Gishu County.
Why it is appearing UG County is because the originator's account is the University UG County Overseas Trust account, and that is why it picks that name. It's nothing we can change on the particular, when we are posting. It will pick the name of the account, and that is why it's appearing in that manner. There is no other narration we could have done because the transfer is moving from the UG County to a specific student's account.
Maybe, Chair, I still need some clarification. Assume I have an account with you, and maybe I want to transfer some money to Mary Corretti, Honorable Mary Corretti. What kind of statement will you put in my account that maybe one day, one time, it will assist me, maybe after 10 years, if I go through the statement? Are you going to write David Keitany transfer or Honorable Corretti's name?
Yeah, the narration that will come will be transfer to Mary Goretti account, this ABCD. But in this case, we were handling almost 100 accounts. We couldn't do it as one entry. That is why the MDC is coming there. And that one particular MDC accommodates a number of accounts. That is why that narration is there. And the students' accounts were, and in this particular case, it would even amount to almost 50 students at one go. That is not an entry that we would do one by one. We would do it as multiple entries.
Thank you.
Then what of the one account? I suppose that the one you told me was supposed to go into insurance. It's just one account. It should have been transferred to either the insurance, the name of the insurance bank, because that is one account.
Yeah, it is
Why UG County?
It is one account, and the entry that we were transferring is one. That is why it was only one entry, along with other names of the students.
Then I'm talking about the one for insurance.
Yes, that's what I'm referring to.
The question is, you said now you could not pick the names of individual students on this transfer to their individual accounts. But there is a transaction, money came from Uasin Gishu County overseas to an insurance account entity. Why couldn't you say this one is transferred to Uasin Gishu or to ICA or to insurance? Because you said you are picking the money where it comes from, and you are not saying where the money is going.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay, we have various ways of doing the transfer. And in this particular one, because there were many, we transferred and posted to individual accounts as, I would put it like a menu in the posting application that you use. For the insurance is because they gave us the entries of the students, the name of the students, but it was not going as one, as individual student. It was going as a lump sum to the insurance account, but the detailed narration was supposed to be, which we were to submit to ICA, had the name of the students, but the payment was done through KCB.
Chair.
Yes.
Chair, to end this matter, maybe you should direct that they furnish us with those details authorizing those transfers, the specific one to UG County, because we are very specific to this transaction. They furnish us with those details that they use to authorize those kind of transactions.
Mary Goretti.
Thank you, Chair. What I would request from Domtila and the bank is that when you are transferring this 34 million to individual students' account, kindly, we want you to furnish this committee with the students whom you actually transfer this money to. And secondly, if the money was going to an individual, that was the requirement, that every student should have money on his or her account. Why did you not do that, a check-off system to each and every individual account? Because you have the accounts with you. Lastly, kindly give us the consent of these students who accepted that after we've gotten our visas, we shall return back the money. That agreement that you made with the students. Thank you.
Madam Domitila, there is also a transaction dated 8th July. July 2022. July 2022, transfer to UG County number 6. SAMD is a sum of 34,560,000. How would you respond to that?
Bwana Chair, if you may indulge me, there were specific issues that have been raised with regards to production of additional information. So I think to respond to that, we are not in a position to provide that unless we receive a formal request so that we are able to analyze what is this that is required of us and see whether we can disclose the same or not. Then at that point, so with regards to those two issues, we can't unless we receive a particularized request, then we know whether we can supply that information.
Quite in order.
Yes. Then now we go now back to your question. Then let Domitila and I respond to that.
While on that, kindly be informed that we are dealing with a petition that has come from the same clients that you are dealing with. So when you talk of information, we need to have that information like yesterday. Thank you.
Issue on July 8th.
Yeah, it is the same narration that we were transferring to the various students' accounts, and we have the particular documents, if requested upon through the right channels, to submit the same. We'll provide them.
Thank you so much. Members, any other question? I want to conclude this.
Chair, I think there's still one pending question. The one for the signatories and the agents of the account.
Okay. I would want to respond it this way in terms of the transactions that were being done, that agents, a number of times there were staff that were being sent from Uasin Gishu County to come and probably bring in documents of transfer or submit to us whatever they had been sent from the county. And in this particular case, on our end, when one of the agents had been written, because at times they would advise us that some of these agents accompanied the students to the embassy. So they would come with a check and along with a letter requesting that we transfer a certain amount of money to facilitate the processing of visa. At that point in time, what we did was we did not allow them to withdraw the cash, but we would transfer to their various accounts. And I think that is why we have that particular entry of 540 split into two, that they were accompanying the students. And to us as a bank,
so in your submission, the 540 split into two.
Yes.
So happening at the same day.
Yes.
So you want to say two people.
Yes.
Accompanied the students.
Yes.
for visa processing.
For visa processing. So they came with a letter, and what we did was to transfer to their individual accounts, because that's how we've been operating the county accounts in terms of interest when they are paid, and that the same narration we used, that we transfer to your personal account and you become accountable for the money that has been transferred to you, because you know how you're going to spend the money. And that is why the name of those two are appearing. But on that particular day, they exceeded the threshold of 1 million,
Chair.
and we were given the supporting documents of the same.
Point of order,
Thank you.
Chair.
What is it, Honorable
I'm
Keita?
interested to the issue of cash withdrawal, not even transfers and the rest, in-house checks and what and what. I'm interested, I just wanted to know, in case if there was an agent to that account, who maybe sometimes that person can come and withdraw or not. It was a very simple question.
Okay, I want to respond to that through the chair. In this particular account, there was no agent. Among the signatories, we didn't have a particular agent, but there were employees of the county who would bring letters, but we would call back to confirm the authenticity of the letters.
What about Joshua Kipkemboi Lele? As per the statement, he was in a position to withdraw cash. This is
Honorable
serious.
Keita, shikilia hiyo swali kidogo. That if Gilbert Chepkonga brings a letter and tells you that I'm an employee of the county government of Uasin Gishu, and this letter is asking you to give me money, so the least you can do to confirm that is calling the chief officer,
the trustees, yes,
to confirm whether you've sent Gilbert Chepkonga.
Correct.
Okay. Now you can proceed. You can proceed on with your question.
I was interested, Chair, to know this person called Joshua Kipkemboi Lele. The total amount that he withdrew is 5.2 million. That is as per the statement. That is cash withdrawal, not in-house transfer.
Maybe you can specifically say the transactions so that I can verify. Any specific date?
And Domitila, you started by telling us that there were no cash withdrawal.
Thank you for that question. In the beginning, before when we started the operation of the account, in the beginning, they used to come and withdraw cash. But along the way, we sat as a branch and we agreed and said, no, this is not in order. We had better create a form of accountability. And that is when now we started transferring to individual accounts, because we knew at their back end that in case of anything that would arise thereafter, this individual person will be accountable on this particular money he received from this trust account. Thank you.
You did that at some point. You changed that order of withdrawal. You are saying it for accountability. Accountability on whose side? On your side as the bank, or on you are helping the county?
On both sides, because here we can pin and say we transferred these funds to so and so, and it was upon the request of the account, which was through the check that was brought before us, that we were able to transfer these particular funds. Thank you.
Maybe Chair, through the Chair.
So, Madam Domitila, at first you said that there was no cash withdrawal, and then immediately you amended that to mean that there was, but we stopped. Now, if because we are going to ask you another question, and you said we allowed anyway.
Okay.
Are you going to that because we are going to ask you some questions on specifically on the account?
I would respond to that in terms, I said earlier that in the bank, the authority allows us to withdraw, to allow the running of the account below 1 million. It is allowed as per the procedure. But just for our own consumption, we felt that it was necessary to ensure that we transfer the funds to the individuals who are presenting the checks to us.
Yes.
And at one point, we changed that tact, and we told them that we are not going to allow you to withdraw cash over this account because it's a trust account, and we expect accountability from you who is coming to collect the funds, that the funds, you received them and you are able to account for it.
Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Dom Tila has told us it reached a point whereby, because of accountability, they stopped withdrawal of cash. And what deterred you from maybe asking these 3 trustees to come along with the rest of the trustees? Because now you are trying to put things in order, in the right way, according to the law. Why didn't you go for the 3 trustees?
Chair, in relation to what she's saying, what prompted you to have some kind of new regulation as opposed to what you had? Is there something fishy that you saw in the whole transaction? Because you reached a point and you just decided to switch the regulation that you had on them.
Thank you for that question. Okay, I would want to respond to it through the chair, that at the point where the transactions were being done.
Chair, let her not go to the second question before she answers my question.
I am responding to it.
Okay.
Yes. At the point, okay, let me respond to your question, Honorable. When the documents of the trustee were submitted to us, we went ahead and did our internal search through our bank lawyer. And the names that appeared on that search were the ones that had been submitted earlier on when they were presenting the documents. And out of that, that gave us the comfort that the trustees, there was no deviation from what we had already been given in the declaration of trust. And we went ahead to request for their PINs, which we were given, and their IDs, which we were given. And to us, we were satisfied that we had all the documents that pertains this overseas trust account. Just maybe to respond to the second question, is why did we feel that is the way to go? Normally, there are transactions that happens, and it was just for our own caution that we felt we go that direction. Just to give us the comfort that at times things could go wrong, and that is why we decided and said that let us ensure that the transfer is done the way all the county accounts are operated. You transfer funds to the individual account so that the withdrawal are done. One, when somebody withdraws cash, we may not have a way of proving that this is the person, okay, as much as it is in the voucher that this is the person who has collected. But it's more accountable when we have transferred the funds to individual account. And that is how we run all the impressed accounts for the county, and we transfer to individual accounts, and then they proceed and give a breakdown of how they have utilized at their back end of how they have spent the money, which in this case, we want to imagine that that was what was happening at the Overseas Trust Office, that before they come to us, they know that they are coming to withdraw 300,000, and this is how they are going to spend. and that has gave us the leeway to transfer as per their request. And the accounts were signed as per the mandate that was held with us. Thank
Chair, we are in agreement that what you did maybe was right, but you did it halfway. You had allowed it for some time. Until a given time, then you decided to have stricter regulation. There must be a kind of reasoning that led to that decision. Did you just wake up and decide that you just need to have some tight regulation? You must have had any fishy thing going on, or any kind of that thing.
Order, Honorable Wanjohi. Maybe the reason why she did that is the holistic desire. It's what we call continuous improvement. I want, for the sake of time, and appreciating that maybe the sugar levels are low, honorable members, I want to encourage closing remarks from honorable members, if there is, before I give it back to them.
I think, Chair, before you go to closing remarks, we had an issue with the transaction of 73 million. The one that the narrative was Forex purchase. I don't know, was it that maybe they were buying euros or what? That is under April, let me check, it was April 2022. That is 26th April 2022. Maybe you can just briefly tell us what was.
And then together with that, there is an income from sale of Forex. I don't know which date was that.
The one for the proceeds.
Yeah, please explain.
You said that. On which date, kindly, Honorable?
It was 26th April 2022. There was a transaction 26th. Of 73 million.
Okay, 73 million. Okay.
Yes. I think there were some also, but anyway, we can deal with this one because they're the same. There were the one for 8 August 2022, the one for 38 million, and the other one for 13 million. It had the same narrative. But you can't answer that one.
Okay. Thank you, honorable members. And through the chair, I want to respond to this particular transaction on 26th of April 2022. One, we received instructions from the trustees to pay school fees for the overseas student. And what would normally happen under these circumstances, why it is saying the FX purchase, normally the narration would have been ordinarily outward swift. But I know in this particular case, it said debit of FX purchase. I would recall in this situation, when the instructions were brought to us, what would happen is they had express authority to call our dealers in Nairobi to request for negotiated rates. Once they got the rates, our dealers transferred that particular payment to a suspense account. That is why that is FX purchase. Thereafter, once the funds have been transferred, they would come with that particular document requesting for the remittance to be done. And that amount would be lying in our Forex suspense account. Why was this happening? That one was because there was need to do that transaction on that particular day due to the fact that of late the interest rates have been changing. In the morning it can be different and in the evening it would be different. So we didn't want the
Sorry,
parents
Chair,
to...
Maybe a clarification. Is
Yes.
it interest rate or maybe the...
Forex rate, sorry. Apologies for that. The Forex changed to change. So we had to do the transaction immediately and convert it into euros so that we don't have that change, because one change or even 1 shilling would amount to millions. So that is why it was being posted as Forex purchase. They purchase the funds first, then thereafter we proceed and remit the funds. And that is why it was being transferred, and that narration is there. Thank you.
Is that what they have been doing, or maybe during the last days they just decided to buy the...
On this particular day, that was the reason, because I think as we've seen what has been happening in the Forex market in the recent past, even from morning to evening, the Forex can change. So we were safeguarding that bit, that to get hold of the Forex first, then proceed and do the transaction later. And that is why we debited the account and then proceeded to remit the funds to the university. So in this particular case, this was fee payment going to one of the university of the students that were being sponsored through the program. Thank you.
I think, Chair, maybe on that, maybe when they will be supplying us with the documents that we have requested, I think you will add also that one so that we can have a copy of that. I don't have any issue on that. The last one, Chair, was this one for the one that students were signing. The signing instructions that they are accepting the deposit, and maybe later on, maybe after the visa has been approved, they will return back the funds. I don't know what you are doing to those clients, maybe those who had accounts in other branches. Because I can see this one, it is addressed to branch manager, that is KCB Eldoret East.
Yeah, thank you for the question. And through the chair, I want to respond that we had received instructions, we received written instructions from the students signing and requesting that we transfer the funds once they have gotten the visas, after they have received the visas. We have those instructions, and the students would come later and do the transfer themselves.
So on that one, for the money to be, for you to be sure, especially also the trustees to be sure of the funds, you put a limit, or maybe you block the account?
Yeah, we block the account.
You block the account?
Correct.
I remember there was a memo before from CPK that you are not allowed to block somebody's account.
Yeah, we are allowed on the consent of the student, which they wrote letters to us, and we have them.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm seeing another peculiar transaction on 15th August 2022. That is page 69 of 73. Page 69 of 73, we have proceeds of Forex sale amounting to 3.2 million. That is on page 69 of 73, that 15th August 2022.
Okay, thank you, and through the chair, I may not have the sufficient response to this particular one, but normally, I mean, through my experience, what would happen at times is at the time of remitting the funds, we could have missed a digit, and along the way, the funds did not hit the recipient account. And what would happen in such a case, it would be reversed back to the originator's account. I don't want to preempt that that is what could have happened, unless I go into details to check what it was.
Thank you so much. Any other? If there is no, perhaps we may give you some 2 minutes to give us your closing remarks on this, starting from the wakili amenyamaza throughout.
Bwana Chair, there is what we call lead counsel. I was the lead counsel.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Thank you, honorable members. We want to take this opportunity for allowing us to come and make these representations and shed a light on what is before us. And we look forward to continue collaborating with you on the matter. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I also take this opportunity to thank you for the initiative. So we are glad that you're looking into this matter, and we hope that the information we have supplied you will help you in reaching your individual conclusions and making appropriate recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to take this opportunity to thank this committee for inviting us to shed light of what has been happening in this particular account. That is, we as KCB Eldoret branch are the custodians. Maybe for whatever we've not submitted, maybe through your office, we are willing, more than willing, to provide whatever you may need so that you can proceed with the investigations you are doing. I want to assure this committee, KCB is a bank that works professionally and upholds ethics, and we were not privy to the information that they had gone to another bank and they were declined. They walked to our branch and we treated them just like any other customer. When they walked into our branch, we were not privy to that information. So we treated them as they came, and we served them to the best of our ability so that we could open this particular account. Once again, I say thank you for giving us this opportunity to say what we have said today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I want to thank you on behalf of the committee, first for honoring our invite and engaging with us this far. Thank you so much, honorable members, for holding it through and being candid in the proceedings as witnessed. I want to assure you that we are not in a fishing expedite. We are just interested of the truth. And this committee is the advocate for the well-being of Uasin Gishu County, so that we don't lean on one side. We gather information and we take the direction where information directs us. So we want to thank you for being with us this evening. And we are going to sit down so that we enumerate a list of items that we will need from your office to complement your oral submissions, so that it will help this committee come to a conclusive end on the operations of that account. You will appreciate the members on the trajectory of their questioning, actually on the account opening and the operations of that account, and the questions that have that arose on the merits and substance of the operations of that account. We want to thank you, and by extension thank KCB community for availing their staff to this honorable committee. I want to thank you. On behalf of the Assembly, on behalf of this committee, and on behalf of my able Vice Chair, together with the Secretariat, I want to thank you and thank everyone for this, for giving us the time to prosecute this matter. For this match, honorable members and our visitors, say for what we are going, we will sit down and agree on what we will need from your side, hoping that you will be able to furnish us with that information, trusting that we may need you here again. So, and I want to thank you for pledging to support us in all these petitions. So thank you so much, members. We are sorry again because we were supposed to have gone for a break, health break, but we felt that we push it this far so that we break for once. Lunch is served for all of us. So our visitors, you'll be guided by the searching terms so that we share with us in that health intervention. And to this far, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.